Selamat
Hari
Raya!
and Tajaha, everybody. On today's episode, we will be, of course, talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 because
Big
it
news.
was announced this week as of this recording. It was announced yesterday. It was announced yesterday
At the Nintendo Direct?
at the Nintendo Direct, which was an hour long. There are a lot of previews and games that are coming out, but on this episode itself, I want to talk specifically on the console because for the longest time, I have the budget to get a Nintendo Switch. But after looking at the Direct and the preview, I'm reconsidering my choices. Okay?
Okay.
And as usual, we are your video game best friends. My name is Kelvin Tay.
I'm Afiq.
I'm Nick Dorian.
And let's talk about the Switch. Alright, guys, the Nintendo Switch 2 is out.
Yeah.
Fig, this one might not be up your alley, but it's
Yeah.
something that I definitely am super excited for.
Yeah, it's nowhere near my alley.
Yeah.
This is my
My
alley
alley
too.
is very far away.
Right?
from this.
Kat
the
longkang
the original Nintendo Switch came out, if I'm not mistaken, 2017. That is close to a decade ago.
My God, has it been that long?
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, when I first saw the Nintendo Switch 2, I was super excited already, purely based on the big screen.
Yeah.
Because, as you get older, your eyes,
bigger- yes.
you look after your eyes,
for
bro.
sure.
You
For
need bigger
sure.
screens.
So we moved from a 6.2 inch to like a 7.9 inch
Yeah,
screen.
this is where every inch counts.
Sorry.
Size matters.
Just want to double check with you because you have a Steam Deck. How big is the Steam Deck?
Too damn big.
It is a Steam Deck OLED size. It is a 7.4.
Okay,
so
so
bigger.
So this is bigger,
Yeah,
just
this
by
is bigger.
5.5
Bigger.
inches.
Yeah, about 0.5.
It's
It makes a
always-
difference. It makes a
Yeah,
difference.
to some people that's a world
Yeah.
of
yeah.
differences,
Shower, not a
right?
grower.
Yep. Yeah, but 7.9?
7.9 inches excites me a lot. And it,
Okay.
basically, okay, I'm not going to say much more about the size, okay? Let's
Wani,
leave
I'm
it
sorry.
at 7.9.
Was not scripted, right?
But on a bigger screen, of course, the graphics are going to look a lot better. From the looks of the game so far, the graphics do look considerably better than from the Switch.
Yep.
What I love about it as well is the fact that those gamepad controllers
Yeah.
are now magnetic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I used to
It
have a
used to be
Switch.
the slide down
Yes.
mechanic
Yes,
thing,
and
right?
that annoyed the shit out of me when I used to
I
have it.
100% agree.
Because it doesn't feel secure. Like I just feel at any point when I slide it down, at some point it's going to break on me.
Yeah.
Like that mechanism is going to break on
it
me.
felt fragile.
Yes, because sometimes it would be
Fragile.
even quite tough to fit in. So there was a considerable amount of force that you have to push it in. And I was stop it.
What?
I don't know. I saw that chuckle and I was like, the sexual innuendos are all over the place at the moment. But now that it's a magnetic thing, I'm like, okay, this could work even better in that favor.
I am a bit of opposite because it's magnetic. I'm a bit more scared
Okay.
on how solid it is.
Oh.
Because
Okay,
because-
yeah. So with the slide thing, there was a way to kind of lock it in.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Because it has like sliders
Yeah, I
slash
remember.
hinges where you can just slide it in and it's solid. But then if it's magnetic, even for like a MagSafe, right? It's not 100% safe. With a bit of force, like for adult forces or like a child that don't know their potential power, for example, they would just like cabutkan and then it's like it's gone. And
But
then,
to argue that, I think there is some kind of locking mechanism because from that trailer, it said press the release button
Yeah.
to unlock it. So I'm guessing that they did think about that, that they, on top of having a magnetic suction thing, they've also got a slight, latch to it, maybe
Yeah.
that will lock it in place.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be like Apple Pencil and the iPad.
oh,
Yeah.
that is so dangerous, man. That
Yeah.
is so dangerous.
And
So
speaking of the gamepad, sorry, one last thing,
Yeah.
is the fact that you can now use it as a mouse.
Yeah, okay. So also
Which
elaborate on that.
intrigues me.
Yeah.
It intrigues me in twofold. One, sure, it looks great when we can, play shooting games or whatnot. That'll be great. But what's the left hand doing? Because usually with the mouse, we've got WASD.
Yeah, yeah.
But this, are we holding it flat as well? Are we holding it like a mouse?
I'm glad you brought it up because they also previewed a game that used with the mouse
yeah, the-
function
Yeah.
of it. It's like a
the wheelchair basketball.
A wheelchair basketball. Yeah.
Literally, I was
Yeah,
like,
where,
Oh my god.
I can't tell if this is offensive or like
Yeah.
inclusive.
Yeah, right.
Is it
it's
satire or no?
It's
not.
it's a real
legit
thing. It's a real
basketball
thing.
game with wheelchairs.
Yeah. So the sliders that you see, it's basically like the left wheel and right wheel
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the
yeah,
wheelchair.
yeah.
It
So,
is what it is.
if you only do the right
Yeah.
mouse, it turns left.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is what it is. And then they also previewed another game which is a golf game where you can use the slider as like the face of the golf club. Yeah, then you can just swing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's
right?
cool.
But then imagine
But it's like using two mice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then
That's the thing. There was one game that looked like a shooter, which they were using the mouse as well, and that was the one that I was like, how does that work? Yeah.
yeah. So
I get yeah.
So there are a couple of updates that I really enjoy
Mm-hmm.
for the Switch 2, right? Most importantly is like right now for the Switch 2 you can play it up to 4K.
Yes,
Right.
on the TV.
Uh,
yeah.
Wow,
the
nice.
problem is this is only for when the Switch is docked.
Yeah.
Right. When
yes.
it's on handheld mode, it can go full HD 1080p.
Yeah.
That's definitely an upgrade in today's day and age without a 4K resolution, even if you're docked.
Yeah.
What are you even doing? Right? Because nowadays a lot of TV screens, because I'm just running on the assumption that a lot of people that will be owning a Switch or the Switch 2 will be docking it on their living room or their TV room, right? 4K, that is definitely a big welcome. But it also comes to one of the biggest downfall that made me have a reservation or reluctantness to pre-order this.
Which is
Price point aside.
Okay.
Okay. Price point aside. It doesn't come with an OLED screen.
yeah, that was what I was surprised
in
about.
2025.
Interesting.
Right?
Because when it said LCD, I was like, wait, don't they already have a Nintendo
OLED,
Switch
yeah.
OLED? Why
Yeah.
didn't they just immediately make this OLED?
Because there's gonna be an OLED upsell.
there is going to be an OLED
Ah.
upsell just like the Switch One, right? But then it's going to come like 2, 3, maybe 4 years
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
future. One day, once the original Switch sales is stagnant, then
then
they'll be
they'll
like,
put the
oh,
OLED.
surprise! Here's
Yeah.
a pink version of a
Yeah.
OLED Nintendo Switch.
I'm assuming
right?
this is cheaper to manufacture.
Yeah. Okay. Let's touch on the price point later on. Just based on the screen itself, right? The screen itself is a 1080p LCD monitor.
Which surprised me because I didn't realize that the first Switch was just 720p.
Yeah, it is. It
I was
is just
like,
720p.
Wait, what? It was
Yeah.
720 at that point?
About a decade
It's
ago,
the
right?
hype, man. You have it in front of you. You don't really realize
decade
it.
ago. But another welcoming factor is it also supports HDR and 120 FPS for an even smoother gameplay experience. Before this, it was running around 30 to 60 FPS.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
120. It's
My
very
God.
very welcoming.
In 2017?
Yeah, 4K resolution will be available on the Switch 2 when docked with a suitable TV. Sorry, when a suitable TV is connected via HDMI.
Yeah.
The new dock has also a built-in fan this time around because
With the
Oh,
cool-
okay. Yeah,
cooling
yeah,
system.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, assuming because he needs to upscale to
Yeah.
4K and
It looks
output.
like-
It really needs a.
right, it looks
Honestly,
like this.
really needs a
watching
fan.
watching this and seeing the details of the Switch 2 just made me realize, wow, the Switch one kind of shit. Right? It's 720.
Yeah.
Only 30 FPS. I'm like, really?
So another welcoming factor is the original Nintendo Switch, like the base model itself, comes with an internal storage of 32 GB only.
yeah, but
Right.
this one, how much?
This one, the Switch 2, comes with 256 GB.
Wow.
I was
Okay.
like, damn.
8 times the amount of space the original one came with.
Okay.
Okay, now, so a lot of good and bad around this 256.
Okay.
Because I mean you can't hear it on
That
the mic,
boy.
but was that your stomach or my computer?
Yeah.
Right, so it's probably
My
right.
computer fan.
All right. 256 GB of internal storage compared to the 32. All right. However, you still the Switch 2 it's still supported with micro SD card. However, you can only use micro SD Express card for the
What is that?
external storage.
is
Is
it?
a
What's an
it's
express
a
card?
Yeah.
it's a okay. You know how when we are shooting this, for example, right?
Yeah.
We need the super expensive SD card.
Yeah.
I
Oh, the
forgot,
SDX, eh?
I forgot what it's called already.
Okay.
But it processes the games faster
Ah.
or it reads faster, right?
Yeah.
Higher download and upload bit rates.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's like a
Okay.
SSD version of a micro SD.
Ah, yeah.
Something along the lines of that, which is also more expensive, right? Are the only type that can be inserted for extra storage. Frustratingly, original Switch micro SD won't work. So
I mean,
so
okay.
if you have all your save files from the original Switch, you can't port it back here.
I
Okay?
mean, for me personally, I don't feel that's too much of an issue because, like, my DJI Osmo also is on that kind of an express thing.
Right, so
most
your-
of my cards are that
Yeah.
already.
Your ecosystem is already there.
Yeah, so it's already sort of integrated. It's like, okay, it's standard lah.
But wouldn't you be able to? Well, I don't know if this is possible, right? But like your old save files, you just move them to the express card?
Now, that's a great question. The Nintendo Switch 2 will also be using a new type of game card.
Okay.
They are red as opposed to the
Bastards.
predecessor
The
gray
lot of them.
and have faster reading speed.
Which
So-
also means almost 200 over original Switch games will not be able to be used on the Switch
Okay.
too.
So this is where some parts of price/functionality comes in, right? Because IGN Southeast Asia did report Nintendo confirms some Switch 2 game cards will only include a download key. That scared the shit out of me.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, jeez.
It was so silent.
Fucking hell.
Kush just walked into the studio, and in my peripherals, as I was reading this, I see something moving, and I didn't want to acknowledge it until I looked up, and then he was there. Kush, you want to just put your face in the camera and say hi, please?
That
Right.
scared the shit out of me because I was looking at the
Yeah.
screen. I was like, what are you two looking at? I look in the corner. I'm like, this is. Sorry, I don't mean to be racist, but a black figure is just there. I was like, what the fuck?
Like as I was just reading this right in my peripherals, it was there. I can feel my goosebumps like come out. It's like, what the fuck is this? Right. So, anyways, I was touching on price point / functionality of it. Right. Okay. Functionality wise, you cannot port back a lot of Nintendo Switch 1 games.
Yeah.
This is including your SD card and also the in-game card itself.
Yeah.
Second point of this is how much was avowed. We talked about this last week.
$300.
300 ringgit,
300 ringgit.
right? If you convert it to USD, it's loosely
Yeah.
about $70.
Yeah.
Right, $70 for a PC, for a digital PC game that you
Already
are
too much.
buying the
Download
license
key. Yeah,
from,
the
right?
license, yeah.
Or the
Already too
license key,
expensive,
right?
Yeah.
$300 was already too expensive, right? Usually the games usually the AAA games that we get is about 250, anywhere from 120 to 250.
Yeah,
lah.
yeah.
And that is already pushing it.
Yes.
300 was too much.
Yeah.
Now, the Nintendo Switch 2 games comes off digital copy,
Okay.
$80. Okay? If you want to buy the physical copy of the game, it is going to be, allegedly, this is all rumors and murmurs, but this is what they're looking at, $90. All right? For a Nintendo
This is so
Switch game.
expensive, man. What?
Why are games getting so expensive? What the fuck?
Okay?
It's only for the elite, the top 1%, bro.
Right.
Yeah. So that
like
is...
This is it's a dystopian future, man.
It's
Yeah.
like the Taman Turun Ramadan Bazaar. lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
it is. It is.
All right? That is the price point we are looking at. So we're-
90. Wait, hold on.
80 to 90 bucks.
$90 for a game. 90 times what? 4.4 now. 4.6 now.
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on, 90 USD to MYR. This is 4th of April. It's not a what do you call it? April Fool's thing,
Yeah.
right? 90 USD to MYR as of 4th of April 2025 is about 399 ringgit.
Oh my goodness.
Oof,
400
right?
bucks for a game.
399.
Yeah,
No,
man.
not for a game.
For a license.
Nintendo game.
Yeah.
For a Nintendo game.
For a Nintendo game license.
Right?
Damn.
So that is the price point that we're looking at now, and knowing Nintendo, I mean, after owning a Switch for God knows how many donkey years,
Yeah.
all the first-party Nintendo games, such as the Pokemons, the Zeldas, and the Kirby's, and the Donkey Kongs,
Marios.
and the wide array of Mario games will rarely/barely go on discount. Right, so you're just expected to pay full price for all these games that are coming out, whether you like it or not.
See, that now has stopped me from wanting a Switch too.
which is also the other reason why I am reluctant to
Yeah.
get a Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah.
Right?
Damn.
Now, since we're on the topic of price point, let me bring up the price of the Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay.
Right? Before we go there, Nintendo Switch 2 is announced to be coming out in June 5th, 2025.
Yeah.
Right? Pre-order starts April 8th in the UK and Europe, but on the 9th in the US. Nintendo also came out with a statement yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Malaysia, Thailand, and other Southeast Asian country will only be expecting the Nintendo Switch anywhere from July to September. I mean, a lot of
Why?
people online are saying that because of the tariffs or
Oh.
because of the trade war going on. Again, I'm not an economist. I don't know this. I'm just reading out what I've known. So if we're in Malaysia, just expect to get it anywhere
Between
from
July and September.
July to September. Now, let me bring you guys to the price point of the Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
After this break. Sorry for the cut. I have to find the price. So I am pulling up this picture of a Nintendo Switch from Gamers Hideout on March 3rd, 2017. Okay, this is when the Nintendo Switch 1 was released in Malaysia, March 3rd, 2017.
This was the LCD one, right?
This is the
OG one.
OG one.
the V1, the OG
Okay,
one, right?
okay.
There's no price on just the device itself, but when we
Bundle.
talk about the bundle, right? The Nintendo Switch launch bundle with grey Joy-Con in 2017, it was 2,299. This one comes with a game called 1-2 Switch and also Legends of Zelda, right? There's another launch bundle with neon blue and neon red Joy-Con. That one is 100 ringgit more expensive. It's 2,399. The Nintendo Switch 2 that is coming out this year is priced at 499 USD. After conversion, is about the same price as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We are looking at about 2,002 for just the base model,
Okay.
and the base model is 4,499, so it's about 2,000-ish ringgit. Okay, and then there's a Mario Kart World bundle that is coming out same time as well, $499.
Wait, when you say models, there's no change to the device itself. That's what it comes with.
One is just a device, so I'm just going to read it, okay?
Right. One is a la carte.
Comes with the following in its box: a Nintendo Switch 2 console, a Joy-Con 2 controller left and right, Joy-Con 2 grip, Joy-Con 2 strap, Nintendo Switch dock, ultra high-speed HDMI cable, Nintendo Switch 2 AC adapter, and a USB-C charging cable. These are everything that comes in the box. But then the Mario Kart bundle comes with one additional thing, which is the Mario Kart World game. It's $50 more expensive, so that one is going to be anywhere from 2,002, 2,003 ringgit.
Okay. I mean, that's
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, because you have to buy the games.
Yeah.
Exactly. That is the follow up to that. It's like, okay, compared to the 2017 price, it's more or less the same, 2,223.
Yeah.
But then the game itself this time around, I really don't know what to expect.
How much were the games back then?
A Nintendo first party game, if I am not mistaken, goes for anywhere from 179 ringgit to 250 ringgit
Yeah, that
for
sounds about right.
for a Switch game, right?
Yeah.
Like the
The
small
physical one.
Physical
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Sounds
the-
about right.
like the physical one. So this time around, I really don't know what to expect from the price point, because just based on the Nintendo announcement itself, right, $80 to $90 for a digital / physical copy. It's going to cost you, $80 to $90.
See, honestly, right now, the
Right,
games thing
90
is
USD to
the
price
huge
point?
downfall.
The
yeah.
games, the
Yeah.
price point of the
price
games.
point of the games is a major downfall.
It just doesn't feel like the average person can just walk up and buy a
Yes.
game.
Or the average, actually, no, yeah, the average person, because even
I
the
mean,
States, that would
$90,
be,
bro.
yeah, that's too much already.
Yeah, man.
But if you don't mind, I want to get to something else that is on it, which is the chat function, the Nintendo chat
Game chat?
function.
Yeah.
Yes, game
Yeah.
chat, where you can now sort of have.
Before you go there, right? The chat function is something that everyone was speculating about, because when they first released the picture of the Joy-Con, right?
Yeah.
The controller and the Pro controller itself. There's this new function, like a new
new
button.
button.
It's a C. And everyone's like, oh, what is this
Yeah.
C button, right? Because previously it was a capture button to
Yeah.
screenshot, right?
Yeah.
And no one knew what C button was. Some people say that maybe it will just bring you back to homepage or bring you this and that. But then they announced, oh, the C button is
chat
for
button.
chat
Chat
function.
function. Which, honestly, I kind of like because now you got that built-in mic. It
Yeah.
has noise cancellation, so you can chat amongst your friends with video chat and all that kind of stuff. But therein lies the problem with me of needing to get an external camera just to make it work. So it's like I'm holding onto the Switch, but it's physically connected to a camera here in order to do that game chat, which feels counterintuitive in this day and age of being able to just fit a camera into the console itself.
Yeah.
We have cameras in our phones.
Yeah.
Why can't you just add a small camera at the top of the
Yeah.
Switch?
Yep.
And there you go. That external camera is I feel it's going to be such a hindrance.
Yeah.
Because if you're going out and playing in, on a train or whatnot, you
Your whole
put the camera
setup.
on, you got to hold the camera here, like, hey guys, like, it just feels counterintuitive. You can only use that if you are in a home space
Yeah,
or an
yeah.
office space. So that to me, it just makes me wonder why. Is it because of the technical capabilities? There wasn't enough space in the console to add a camera to it.
Perhaps.
I'm hoping when they do the OLED, they might change that, but it's highly doubtful at this point. But to me, that feels like a pitfall, having that external Nintendo Switch camera.
On top of that, Nintendo have learned all their mistakes from the chat functions to the camera and also everything else from the Switch 1, and they're making consumers pay for it for the Switch 2. Now, with the cameras and also the chat function, great features that console players from Xbox 360 have already experienced it 15, 20 years ago, right? Great, right? Never too late. But let's just say if you're playing with your friends online, right? Hey, Fig, jom. Hey, Nick, jom. Let's play some Mario Kart online.
Yeah.
You want to chat,
Or
right?
some schedule one.
Okay.
Yeah,
awesome.
schedule one, yes.
Right? Let's chat online. Okay, on the Nintendo Switch. Oh shit, you can't.
Why?
Because you don't have the Nintendo Switch online subscription, which is $3.99 a month, bro.
Are you kidding me? Oh, fuck's
So it's like
sake.
kind of all
I love
of that,
subscriptions.
right?
Oh,
All
for
of
fuck's
that,
sake. How
and then
much
you have
again?
the $3.99 USD a month.
$3.99 is about
Yeah.
12
So
ringgit.
it's like, yeah, you
But
can have the
still-
camera, you can have the chat function, but if you're not subscribed to the Nintendo
just talking to yourself.
service online,
Mirror on
then
the wall type shit.
everything that you do is either split screen, like split screen in your living room.
Yeah.
I hold a controller, you hold a controller,
Yeah.
you hold a controller. You jangan harap lah nak main online.
So you need the
Nintendo,
subscription
yes.
to
Game chat.
access online features.
Game chat, of course, comes with a price though. And that admission fee is a Nintendo Online membership. That will only be the case after March 31st, 2026, however, as before then it will be available to all Switch 2 owners for free. So you technically have
A year
You know,
for free, lah.
half a year, I would say, if it's coming out in June and
I mean, if
March
you
31st.
here July, September.
Yeah, right. So you would enjoy the free Nintendo Online membership or like the game chat,
But-
for free for about 6 months.
But why? In this day and age of everyone being able to just do it for free,
Yeah.
Yeah.
why does Nintendo go, no, you need to pay a subscription
Yeah.
for it?
I mean, Discord is free, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right?
What if Discord
especially with
creates
like
a port on Nintendo Switch too,
with-
and then
with-
people
That's
just use
why.
that?
with
Like they did with PS5.
yeah, exactly. I was just about to say, right? With like the PlayStation now having Discord functionality,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense, right? But Nintendo being Nintendo, they have to squeeze every single cent out of their consumers just to feel good about it, just like my USJ experience. I'm talking about the stupid strap watch, Nick. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, I got it for 30% off. So
Ridiculous.
This
I
what?
had
This
stuff
strap?
discount.
Fuck you.
No, the Mario band at
Yeah,
Nintendo.
so
World.
when you go to Universal Studio Japan, there is a Nintendo Land, right? Whatever it's called, Mario
Super Nintendo World.
Super Nintendo World, all right? And throughout the Super Nintendo World, there's a lot of little placeholders like the Mario box. Where you hit the question mark thing. So if you go in without the band, right? It's like an NFC band or it's
kinda,
NFC
yeah.
band, right? You can interact. You can't interact with it. So to
You
those
can
people,
do it, but nothing happens.
nothing
Yeah.
happens. Yeah.
And
But then-
also, it connects to your USJ app. There's a special section for the Super Nintendo World where you can collect coins and then like you can compete amongst your friends on the leaderboard and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And how much is that?
That one was about
I
what?
paid $250
Uh,
for
I had a limited edition one.
This thing
I had
here.
the gold one.
this thing here. You see this watch here?
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing was 250
But what's
bucks.
your
Yeah.
what? Sorry, like segue because I'm really curious.
Yeah,
What
sure.
what's your gripe with it?
The price point, eh?
The price point.
Yeah.
Well, it's a gimmick.
It
Ah,
is
yeah,
lah.
right.
It is a
It's-
gimmick.
it's-
I mean,
a
to be
gimmick,
fair, the entire place is a
Yes,
gimmick.
exactly. Exactly.
So hey,
Anyway.
I budgeted for it. I'm just
yeah,
griping. I'm just griping because now it's just collecting dust in my room. It's a good it's a very very good souvenir.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
It's good. I guess it's good memories, lah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but my
it is.
point was Nintendo loves to squeeze
Yeah.
Yeah,
every
yeah, yeah.
single cent out of you until you're broke and be like, oh no, I can't check my friends online anymore. Oh whoa.
I already went to your place.
Yeah.
I bought everything. Now I don't have money for the subscription.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Right.
And what I also another thing that I also love about the Nintendo Switch at the moment lah, of the
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
is that connectivity between the games and the app. Like I was seeing some games where you could use the app while you're in the game, like Legend of Zelda or whatnot.
Oh.
It's almost like your inventory is in your app. So as you're playing, you can look at your app and sort of connect through the game with that. So that one I find like, damn, that's very the connectivity is very interesting.
Yeah, because it's native, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right now, I was excited for the Switch 2, but all those extra
The
pricing,
little things,
little
yeah.
things. I mean, not even talking about the game chat. Again, the pricing of the games, that has turned me off to no end now.
Yeah.
Knowing that I could get a Switch 2 and it'll probably just sit there collecting dust because I can't afford to buy the games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So there are a lot of games that was announced, right? There's this article here on Polygon. It's like everything we know about the Switch 2, Nintendo's next gen console. Nintendo announced price for Switch 2, which starts at $449, $450. $150 more than the original Switch. Games like Mario Kart World, which cost $79.99, $18. Means upgrading could be prohibitively expensive for Nintendo fans. But on the bright side, right? Just talking a bit on the good part of the Nintendo Switch 2 is the functionality has definitely been improved from the mics, from the screen, from the 720 to 1080, just on the handheld and all the way up to 4K on
PC,
when,
TVs.
when it's docked. And then the dock functionality also comes with a fan. All those are great, right? Just looking at the trailers that we've seen when the game was docked, because I'm going to run the assumption they want to show you the 4K trailer of all the games that are being played, right? And the games that was shown really looked amazing.
It did.
Right?
It did.
We have games like Mario Kart World, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition. Just reading this kind of pissed me off a bit because you are rebuying a game that you already have on the Switch, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a different file format also.
It's a different
You can
file
get Cyberpunk
format,
2077 on the Switch, bro.
right? Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, Street Fighter 6, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Hogwarts Legacy.
Sorry, what?
Hogwarts Legacy. You have games like Hitman: Wheel of Assassination, Yakuza 0.
It's essentially all games
we
we've
see-
played
no, no,
already,
no.
just ported.
It's
different
a
file
lot
format.
of games that we have seen, right? When you're talking about original games, there's honestly not much here besides that.
The new Donkey Kong game.
The Donkey Kong one, the Kirby one, the Mario Kart World, and more interestingly, it's that what the hell are you called?
It's a lot
Oh
of
shit, I forgot the name, but it's by From Software.
Dark Souls. Bloodborne.
Hey, dude. There's that other game that looks like Bloodborne. People are calling it the Bloodborne sequel, but it's not Bloodborne.
It's this one. From Software announces the Dust Blood.
Yes.
As a Switch
Dust
2,
Blood.
as a Switch 2 exclusive.
Bloodborne 2.
Everyone online is calling it Bloodborne 2.
Did you play Bloodborne?
So
No, I didn't, but I've seen gameplay.
so that's a thing, right? Again, out of all of this, right, there's not really an original game that came out. One game that kind of pisses everyone else is this title called Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. So when you bought the PlayStation 5 at launch,
Okay.
you had a game called Astro Boy or Astro
Ah,
Bot,
yes.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
That
Yeah.
one came pre-downloaded in
Yes.
your
PS5
console,
package and all that,
console,
yeah.
yeah.
Before this, it was what Sock Boy.
Oh, Little Big Planet.
Little Big
Little Big
as well,
Planet.
right?
Sock
Those
Boy.
are those
It's
are
its naming system.
those are the games that kind of introduce you to the system, to the to the controls of the game, just to get you like if you didn't
Accustomed to the
Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
If you didn't
grow
go
up-
from PS4 to PS5.
exactly
Yes.
or like a PS1 to PS5 for example,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So for newborns or like for kids or like for people first time playing console,
Yeah.
these are the games that they kind of get you going to be like, oh okay,
It's
left
like
is
a
left,
bigger
right is
version of a
right.
tutorial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nintendo
That's
Switch
fun.
2 Welcome Tour is a game, right? For you to understand the Nintendo Switch 2 system.
Yeah.
Right?
How much is it?
Yeah, that's why. How much is it? Because I already see a paid tour.
$90.
I'm like,
Yeah,
how
right.
much?
Usually games like this will come pre-launch and
Yeah.
then you can delete it if you want.
Yeah.
Even for the Steam Deck, Valve came out with a game teaching you how to use it.
Yeah.
And it was free to download.
How much?
Right. This
How much?
one is gonna come out, if I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be $20.
Yeah, okay, nice. I think the episode's done, bro.
Yeah, pretty much.
$20 for you to understand how to use your,
The Nintendo-
your Switch 2.
So you have to pay $20 to learn
Oh,
how
sorry,
to
it's,
use your 2,000 ringgit device.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour price in Japan is confirmed to be 990 yen, translated to about $10. Right? Still.
Still.
yeah.
It's like
10 like
it's like
10
going
yen.
to IKEA and like, okay, here's your product. You want the instructions? Pay another extra 50
Yeah.
ringgit. We'll give you the instructions for it.
and this is the
Otherwise, you're
this
on your
is-
own, bud.
This is the Switch 2 tour. It's a game that kind of breaks down like all the parts of your Nintendo Switch 2, telling you what button is this,
Yeah.
what button is that. And you're paying $10 for a e-manual in the form of a game telling you how to, use.
You know what would be a cheaper way to do that? YouTube.
That's right.
So it's like this.
Get Shroud to
It's
stream
like
this game.
Right? Look, Fik.
Oh.
It's basically a game that kind of breaks down it into like things.
So
cut in
you're
half.
controlling the little guy
Yeah.
walking around the system,
Yes.
the hardware. Okay.
Essentially.
Hold on. So there's a lot. Obviously, at this point, we all know there's a lot of negativity over Switch 2
Yeah.
in this episode,
Yes.
specifically.
Yeah.
I
But-
feel like personally, I'm just fuming.
Disappointed.
I'm not even disappointed. I'm fuming
Mm.
at something that should be such a simple upgrade from Switch 1 to Switch 2.
Yes.
Right? Because come on, let's face it, the Nintendo Switch is one of the, if not the best selling handheld console in the world.
Yes.
Period.
100%.
People who have a Switch 1 will buy a Switch 2
Yeah.
regardless.
Yes.
Yeah.
But with all this small nooks and cranny, even for a manual / tutorial for the Switch 2 costing 1,000 yen or $10 just doesn't
It doesn't make sense.
it doesn't bode well with me.
No.
I feel like it's scummy. I feel like they could have done better. I feel like, come on, man. For if you're gonna pay $500 for a console, throw your fans a bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I were to hear like, oh, I get a game in the form of manual for free, I'll be like, oh shit, I feel good.
You know, to slowly close this off, you know what I will call the Nintendo Switch 2?
What?
And Malaysians will understand this analogy.
Nintendo Switch 2 mahal.
No,
Oh,
this is the Asia of consoles.
Oh yes,
Because you pay for something, but
Yes.
then everything else you're going to pay for as well.
yes,
right.
yes. I got tricked on Asia the other day.
I'm not surprised, bro. What happened?
The in-flight menu, right?
You have to pay
said-
for it.
No, that'd be funny. Every time I
will
take
be-
it out,
This is 5 ringgit
Yeah,
no,
for the menu.
for 5 minutes.
I in the menu, right? The curry puff was 1 ringgit. Okay.
Okay.
So I went to order. We ordered 3. When the lady pointed the terminal at me, it was 15 ringgit for 3 curry puffs. Because the 1 ringgit curry puff is only when you buy a chicken rice or something like that. So I was like, oh shit, they already heated it up. What am I gonna do? I don't want to tell them I don't
It's the
want
most
it.
expensive curry puff you had in your life.
Yeah, 5 ringgit.
Was
Yeah.
was it even good?
It was okay lah. It's got like egg inside, which saved it. It's like the IKEA curry puff.
Okay. But still.
But anyways,
Okay.
what I was saying earlier
Ah.
is that there has been a lot of negativity about Switch 2 on this episode specifically, right? But if we were to bring some form of positivity, right? Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? If any, like one thing about the Switch 2 that you think is positive, that keeps the hope alive for you to one day buy it.
You see, for me, the console in itself already excites me. Looking at the trailer and seeing all the new upgrades and whatnot was an easy sell for me to go, shit, I want this. I want this so badly. That is the positive. It's just the games at this point. It really is just the games because I can't bring myself to buy a $2,000 ringgit console, and then with every new game, I'm shelling out another possible 200 to 300 on top of the fact that I play PC games as it is, and I will buy PC games for like 80, 100 ringgit. I'm not going to pay another 200, 300 ringgit because like that's too much for me. So that really is what is stopping me from getting a Nintendo Switch. If the games are cheaper, 100% I will buy it because I find no fault at all with the console itself. Not at all. That's a huge seller. Yeah.
To me, I feel like, and I still feel like this is true in my opinion, the Nintendo Switch has revolutionized handheld gaming, just like the Game Boy when it first came out.
Yeah.
When the Nintendo Switch came out in 2017, no one else had a handheld console, and they were monopolizing it.
They
Steam Deck
pioneered
wouldn't
it.
exist. All these handhelds would not exist
Right.
without Nintendo Switch.
But echoing on what Nick said, yes, I can pay 2,200, 2,500 for a handheld console if it's Nintendo. But if you're telling me every game that comes out, right? Indie games, I said this before in the episode, indie games is $14.99, right? Full-fledged game is 179 to 250 ringgit. No thanks.
Yeah.
Right? And that is one of the main reasons why I'm so happy with my Steam Deck, even though if it's clunky, if it's big, if it takes out 70% of my backpack space, I am very happy because I'm buying games for 2 ringgit, 3 ringgit, 5
Exactly.
ringgit, right?
Exactly.
Yesterday I just bought Schedule 1, that what do you call it? That Drug Empire Simulator game, right?
Which we will be playing soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it later.
49
Yeah,
for
same.
49 ringgit.
Yeah.
And
1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we were playing it until like
Drug
what,
dealing!
2 in the morning yesterday. We were playing until like 2 in the morning yesterday.
Can't wait to deal drugs,
And
man.
when I woke up today, I was like, I don't want to do the episode. I just want to build my empire because I have like all these plans. I have all these plans in my head, right? And that's 50 ringgit.
Yeah.
That's 50 ringgit. I can play with all my friends.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Why would I
One good
be-
thing if I can say about the Switch is we don't know what games have this, but they have a function called Game Share, where if you have a game that is multiplayer, for example, you can share the game with your friends if they're all using the same internet connection. Okay.
Same internet connection.
So
Same
you all
internet
need to be at one person's home.
Yes.
So it's just PS1 lah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right. So like,
But
you can have
is
your
it like
console-
Split Fiction? Because Split Fiction, only one person has to buy the game, right?
Yeah. Some very similar like that as
But
well.
you have to be on the same network, though.
That's the thing.
You have
So
to
it's
be-
LAN.
Yeah, it's a LAN party.
Yeah, it's a LAN party.
Nintendo Switch 2 Game Share.
And again, in this day and age of online gaming, like
That's why. Sometimes
Okay,
the
let
people
me-
I play games with, I
let
don't want to see
me-
their face.
Let me get this. Okay.
I just want to hear their voice.
Game Share lets everyone play with just one game. With a Nintendo Switch 2 system, you can use Game Share to share supported games with friends and family, even if they don't have the game, everyone can play together. Local users share your game in person. The Nintendo Switch 2 system can share compatible games with anyone who has a Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo Switch system. This is 1 and 2. That way, everyone can play the game even if they don't have it. So you must be in the same
Network.
Network.
Oh, okay.
network.
So
Yeah.
if all 4 of us have our own Nintendo Switches and we're all connected to Cantina,
yeah, we can play together.
we can play the game together.
Yep.
So we have
you
to
can
see each
share-
other's faces.
You can
Yeah.
share compatible games and play together online via game chat for Nintendo Switch. Okay, this is just game chat, but that's basically it.
Wait,
right?
do we have to pay for that too?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Okay, to slowly wrap this up because I do have to go.
Yeah.
Afiq, what's your positive on this?
On the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
I mean, I stay far away from the Switch, man. It's not in my reality box.
Oh, yeah, that is
Switch
true.
is not in my reality box.
That's
So the only positive thing is
Is not AAA enough for you?
well, there's Cyberpunk 2077.
There's Elden Ring.
There's Elden Ring.
The Steam Deck.
I would get the Steam Deck.
Exactly for the
I
same
would get the
price.
Steam Deck for the same
See,
price. But if
actually-
there was a positive, I don't know. I would have to really think.
My
man.
positive
Yeah.
is it solidified my reasoning of selling my Switch and buying a Steam Deck.
You see, that again, to close it off, in this day and age now of all these portable consoles, I feel this is a step backwards for the Nintendo Switch because of the games. With Steam Deck, like you said, you could buy games for cheap now. So why is Nintendo's? It feels like Nintendo Switch looked at the competition and went, "We are more elite than you." And people, you know what? It feels like Apple.
I was gonna say.
Yes.
I was gonna say it feels like Nintendo is
Yes.
modeling after Apple.
Yes, like
because
they
what
know
they're trying to
they'll buy
do
it.
is they're trying to build a Nintendo ecosystem. That's what this is.
Yeah.
With the whole chat subscription thing, you have to
Yes.
be in the ecosystem.
Yes, it's just an Apple, the Apple Switch.
Yeah, it's the Apple model.
Yeah.
It's
It's
the Apple of handheld gaming, I would say.
Pretty
right?
much.
Yeah. Nintendo iSwitch.
I
I
just wanna say
switched
that-
from Switch to Steam Deck.
I just want to say that I have been a huge Nintendo fan,
Yeah.
since I was a bloody kid.
Game
Yeah,
Boys.
from the Game Boy, the Game Boy Color, the
Game
Game Boy
Boy was
Advance, the Game Boy
revolutionary,
SP,
dude.
the 3DS.
Remember when
the
Game Boy had
DS?
I remember
to
the
use a
3DS.
cable to connect to
Yeah.
play multiplayer?
I
Remember
had-
when it had the camera as well?
Yeah, that's pretty
Thinking-
much this, right? Local area network.
Pretty much.
Just thinking back, right? I own the Game Boy all the way to the Nintendo Switch One, and this would be the first time that I'll be like, no, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Not because I
Tragic,
cannot,
isn't it?
Yeah, not because I cannot afford the console, but I cannot justify buying the console and also that $80-$90
Yeah.
when I already have a Steam Deck that I can buy Steam games on Steam during their summer sale, their spring sale, their autumn sale, their winter sale, and their genre sales. Like
Yeah.
the RPG Fest, for example,
Yeah.
or Steam Next Fest, for example,
Yeah.
where I can get games for like ringgit.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
If they can lower down the prices, then I will buy it.
Exactly.
But until then, yeah.
My final take on this, right, is it's unfortunate that Nintendo has decided to build an ecosystem now.
Yeah, yeah.
Because when Apple did it, it was new. You didn't feel like you were being fed into an ecosystem.
But in this day and age,
This day and age, people are so aware of ecosystems. Samsung has their own
Yes.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
So when you try to force ecosystems on people, people recognize it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we reject it because we want to be free and move.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
my take on
Yeah.
this.
Let us know your thoughts on whether you will get a Nintendo Switch 2 and why. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you like about the Nintendo Switch 2 announcement? What do you hate about it?
Yeah.
I would really want. I mean, like, if you're seeing this on TikTok or Instagram, please comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube, I would really love to know what you think about it. I've already spoken my piece. Nick has
We
spoken
all
his piece.
spoken, yeah.
I'm not getting a Switch.
Yeah.
Either
Right.
way.
And until then, we have been your video game best friends. My name is Kelvin Tay.
I'm Afiq.
I'm Nick Dorian.
Selamat Hari
Raya.
Raya.
Selamat Hari Raya.
Tak ada duit raya.
Take care, guys. Bye bye.
Bye.
3, 2, 1.